I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
Let's give some credit to the Assistpilicueta, Mr. Cesar Dave Azpi. What changed in the second half from him? Which is a very leading question, Dan, and in the court of law might even be considered inappropriate. But there's a tweet from Squawka here, which I find to be a little fiery, a little interesting.
Well, the stat being that no player recorded more Premier League assists for Chelsea this season than Cesar Azpilicueta, which is at 5, tied with Willian, which is an interesting stat and also a terrible stat because
Correct.
The fact that Azpi has 5 and Willian have 5, and you would argue that Willian has been one of our least impressive forward players this season. That's very scary. But no,
we didn't even have Morata.
Oh God. Yeah, the only person we thought he could assist previously. He's been able to find Giroud and Pulisic in quick fashion this week. No, I mean, I think he took the game by it and really ended up becoming, I think, a much stronger force in the second half. Miles, he definitely responded to the fact that really they were kind of going at him, and we were trying to struggle in that last 20-25 minutes when Villa started to say, like, oh, we can kind of come out of our shell, we can pop into attack, we can try to press them a little bit. And Dave in the second half was really having none of it.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, after the first half, there was like a succession of crosses that weren't really going anywhere. And I think at that point I was wondering, like, should we just bring Reece James on? Because, like, especially if we're chasing the game, like, that's someone who can provide a bit more, in terms of crossing and just in general creating chances and doing things. Not that Dave isn't an excellent right back. It's just when you're chasing the game, someone like James is someone you might consider for that. But no, he proved himself. He's again one of those players who, even though he's one of our veterans, so to speak, even though he's not that old, he's also one of those players who, like Mount, his work rate is exceptional. He was still going forward with those crosses, nothing stopped him. And I think what helped as well was having someone like Pulisic on. He wasn't just trying to get Giroud in a sea of defenders like Tyrone Mings, who are just absolute towers. I mean, lost his cheek. He was rusty. He wasn't really getting into good positions in the box. And within a few minutes of Pulisic coming on, he found some great space. From that Azpilicueta cross. And yeah, I think that was what changed things. I mean, those few minutes, Dave played great, Pulisic played great, Barkley was there. it was a good team effort.
Well, Cesar Azpilicueta deserves our plaudits today. His first assist was just really impressive. It was kind of the perfect ball, and Pulisic made a really good finish because I know he was kind of stretched on the far post, but it was a really good cross. He did struggle in the first half with crossing and was getting lambasted by the announcer for it as well, but certainly came in on the left for his second one, which I think most people are looking and going, why the hell is he over there? Well, we just had a break, and he made the most out of that opportunity in that position. And obviously Ollie did a majority of the work there, but he had to put the ball through, and it was a really important, I think, moment for him this year. The fact that he has 7 assists in all comps and 5 in the Premier League, as much as we all talk about Reece James and his unbelievable crossing ability, it's still kind of I think Azpi having a say in where he plays throughout the season. So I'm really happy for him. Everyone knows that he's one of my favorite players on the team, and happy that his insistence paid off, Brandon, I guess.
Yeah, look, he's the captain, right? He's the on the field leader, off the field leader, and we knew he would never go down without a fight. And I'm not going to hold this against Reece, in the long run, but he did not cover himself in glory today. We needed him to come on at the end of the game and just run. Again, I don't know what his fitness levels are, but the amount of times he was dispossessed in only a few minutes was not great. So again, Dave saying to Reece, if you want it, you have to come take it. I'm not going to roll over.
The other thing that benefited Aspi really well in that first goal, though, different from most of the other attempts that we had in the first half, is there were multiple targets running at the actual goal. And so it flew over 2 or 3 other attackers who might, if the ball had dropped sooner or taken a weird deflection, potentially would have gotten on it, which in the first half, that was not the way. There was not coordinated running in that way, right? The attackers were isolated. They weren't moving in motion together. And so when you have 3 or 4 players all taking individual attention away, that is going to give you the opportunity to do what Pulisic did and just basically be the beneficiary that every other defender was engaged by another attacking player.
So that actually froze Nyland too. He couldn't come out and challenge for it or go get it because of the traffic in his 6-yard box. Because he knew there's always another threat, and if he wasn't 100% sure, he had to wait on it. Unfortunately, he waited too long for him. It went to Christian at the back post, which I read on the Fifth Standard real quick. Christian's quotes. He's like, "I didn't even hit it well." He's like, "It wasn't great contact, my left foot." He's like, "Thankfully, it went in." But then so it's like, all right, well, hey, good to hear it did though. And with that, I think we should probably touch on our fellow American, Christian Pulisic. Pool assist is what Will Bleeds Blue said on Discord. So, okay. You know what?
Goalisic was our, I think our hashtag we were running with.
That's better.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Either way, just you have one good one and now you can judge everything else. All right. Sitting on your laurels over there.
More than one good one. Thank you very much.
So anyways, I think we're all kind of surprised that Christian didn't start. He said he was healthy, he was sharp. Vanilla Gorilla asking, do you agree that Pulisic should start from here on out? Also, can we please insert reset at right back and move Aspi to left back? Alonso brought nothing today. Okay, let's focus on the Pulisic part of that tweet, Dan, because before the match, Frank said when talking to Sky, the end of the season, playing every 4 or 5 days, whatever it is going to be about the squad and rotating. And I think he signaled a little of that intent today by maybe not starting Tammy, by maybe not starting Christian, some of the players that you would have thought would be shoo-ins, looking ahead to City. So should he be a starter from here on out? We would like to think so, but there's going to be limitations due to the lack of ability to get match fit going into this run of games, and then not the ability to even maintain whatever they have.
Well, if we think about the fact that we have City on Thursday, we'll have Leicester on Sunday. So that's 2 matches against top 4 competition, one in the Premier League and one in the FA Cup. You would like to think that Pulisic is going to start both of those. You have also the consideration that Willian and Pedro are still in negotiations to see if we'll actually get extended contracts for them, and will they play beyond the 30th, or will they potentially – is Pedro never going to make an appearance again for Chelsea? Is Willian, maybe was that his last appearance? It could be possible in either scenario. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I would love for Christian to start. I think actually, Frank, from a man management standpoint, letting Christian come in and impact the game as a substitute worked so well for the way that the type of game that he has, Nick, where he can come in and just attack with pace. And you've taken now some players that have been off for a little bit, who are still getting back up to match fitness, and just run at them for a few minutes and just terrorize a defense. That was fantastic. I think that he really leveraged Christian well in here, and actually, because on the flip side, if he starts Christian and Christian doesn't score, the monkey gets on his back for that one. On this one, the opposite happens, and he gets all the praise and the glory for coming in and making an immediate impact.
Yeah, I mean, look, Christian is a very versatile player. I mean, he can do a lot. And, I think he's probably been best this year on the left, where he ended up coming in and playing for a majority of that time. But he can also play as a 10. He could be out on the right. He played a majority of his time at Dortmund on the right. So I think there is positional flexibility there. And, I think the best way to get some of these players like, Christian and Tammy and Ross and all the guys who came in, time is to give them the last 20, 30 minutes of a game, get that experience into them, maybe start them the next game just to find some balance, and then bring in N'Golo Kante in the last 20 minutes to spice some things up and just keep the rotation going that way, because there's just not a chance, Miles, that these guys are going to be able to play all 9, 10, 11, 12, depending on FA Cup games left in the season in a row. It's just not possible.
Yeah, and especially when, Callum Hudson-Odoi not available because of injury. So having Willian and Pedro available at the very least until the end of June at least gives him that ability to rotate enough so that someone like Christian isn't starting every match. And I think, to your point, having players like Christian, Mount, who are also versatile in terms of where they can play on the pitch, because, Mount can also play on the wings. He could play as a 10. That's going to be really important, especially because like we were saying, the Bundesliga injuries have been up like 200%. Unfortunately, there's probably a chance we're going to get a few knocks, wrapping up the season in a very short period of time. So just having that flexibility, and also having, a deep roster, we might, take out Kovacic and if we were in the lead, it's like, oh, you can bring on someone like Billy Gilmore and Jorginho when he's back from his suspension. That's another guy in the midfield. I wouldn't want to see it, but if you want to put Assistpilicueta at left back instead of Alonso, you can. You could put Emerson out there. I mean, we do have options at least, and that's going to be very advantageous given the fact that the matches are coming thick and fast.